I realized how much I've grown to underestimate just how bad shows can be. I decided to take to Reddit to see what some of the worst anime they watched were, and that's what brings us here today. Ugh. Gun-dou Musashi. A show taking place in an alternate reality early Edo era Japan. While studying the way of the sword and becoming a samurai, they study Gun-dou. Gun-dou. Not to say there's no swords in the series, the ridiculousness of it all is just so overpowering. So we follow our main character, Musashi Miyamoto, who fights with his electro sword and sleeping bullets, which don't kill for whatever reason, but I'm just asking why and how. Nothing about how these came into existence is really explained, just that blonde Gandalf over here gave it to him. But we'll get to Gandhi later. And this series just loves throwing a ton of random information at you. As far as characters, it doesn't really go deeper than surface level, but that's obviously because this anime is about the story, right? Right? Anybody? Story. The story basically amounts to gun sword guy who kicks butt in crew versus demons. How original. The demons are known as Ayakashi, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is Musashi fight demon and Musashi gets strong. Reoccurring theme in some of these bad shows? Just maybe. Now it took me a little while just to find out how I could cover this show. I could hardly get through it. Hell, on first episode, 11 minutes in, I switched to another show Reddit recommended, but ultimately came back because what does it matter? They're all bad. Frankly, this show isn't even worth covering each episode individually. Now why is that? Why does this show have consistently average to below average ratings by people? 1. Target audience. This is an anime that has a rating of PG-13 for teens 13 or older. Yet this show constantly treats the viewer like they're a toddler with the amount of substance in it. And that's horrible. It doesn't have the shonen effect of good action. It's reminiscent of Jackie Chan Adventures, but with god-awful animation. Episode 2 gives us about 2 minutes of recap from episode 1, and for some reason no other episode. And every episode starts off with this incredibly stupid minute-and-a-half narration that we totally didn't care about by episode 1 midway point. 2. Trying to take itself seriously. This show is an absolute meme. The voice acting sounds like it came from a shoebox. The ED makes me feel like bursting out into a dance. The opening is Ghostbusters with a Z, by the way. Which is... Here, let me just play a little bit for you. Yeah, that's definitely a sound. The horrible animation, the below average music, the horrible audio quality, and random ringing noises. It serves as a reminder just to how underwhelming this show is. That after viewing the show, it becomes funny. And that kind of sums up the experience as a whole, not even just the OP. 3. Characters. We constantly got goofy characters thrown at us. First we have Ronin. He's a samurai with demon swords who fights on the side of our protag Musashi, seeking to help him along the way. His entire character is just that. You don't get any backstory and he's incredibly boring. What a character gets introduced with in this series is basically what you get the whole way through. Next, Desperado, who is described on my anime list as a foreign woman after Musashi's life. That's hilarious, because this entire time she tries to kill Musashi for supposedly killing her father, which Musashi insists he had nothing to do with. That's all we get the whole series from her, and a bit of plot. Leonardo da Vinci is in this show. That's blonde Gandalf I mentioned earlier. Half of these characters don't even have pictures on my anime list, but somehow this guy does. His entire design was so unsettling to look at the whole show. Why like this? In conclusion, the show is torture through and through. Animation, OST, ED, OP, and characters. 6 episodes in, they have a recap episode. Some describe this as so bad it's good. My response to that is no. Do not waste life with this, but I watched it so you didn't have to. But what do you think? What's the worst anime you watched? Leave any thoughts and opinions you had down in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.